Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today I wanted to share with you guys a little bit more about some stuff that we've been doing lately at our house. And if you happen to be catching any of the live streams that my daughters do on YouTube or on Twitch, then you know that we talked about the fact that yesterday we were going to kind of do something called a tech cleanse, where we'd sort of just kind of stop using technology for a few hours. Some people I know have talked about doing these kinds of things on YouTube, and you see videos and people talking about how they went, for 3 months without ever having any access to their internet and their Twitter accounts and things like that. I've heard people, kind of do things for the weekend or just specifically, trying to remove a lot of apps from a particular device, or making sure that, work is only on the computer and not on their cellular phone. Just doing different things to kind of eliminate some of the crazy, because, as we get everything getting more and more technologically advanced and everything is so convenient, it means like you're on call all the time, and I think that can be kind of hard. So we just thought, I kind of just thought of it. We were sitting around kind of thinking, we're on summer vacation right now in Japan, and I was like, it'd be kind of cool to try. We all kind of sit around in the morning, and at the beginning of the week we compare the status, the data from the iPad, the Apple OS's kind of set that they have there about usage, and it'll tell you which app you use the most and how many hours or minutes or whatever you've been doing things. And so we all kind of laugh and compare and go, wow, what the hell, what were you doing that whole time? Oh yeah, that makes sense. So it's kind of a funny thing to look at. I think it's important to know, like, a little bit that we as a family don't have television in our house, because obviously there's TV in Japan, but we where we live, we could get TV. It's not like we're that rural, but in order to have TV, you have to have an antenna on your house. And the reason we don't have an antenna on our house is because if you put an antenna on your house, then the NHK, which is the equivalent of PBS in America, it's the public broadcasting station of Japan, they know that you have a television in your house. And NHK, that could be a whole nother topic, but I'll summarize it really quick here for you guys. NHK, or public broadcasting in Japan, is real tricky, and they have it where it's supposed to be this great free service from the government, but it's not. You have to pay for it. You have to pay for the channel, and they don't officially have any really well organized system, or you're a citizen, you own a house, so you have to pay for it. They should have something flat like that. They try to get you in sneaky ways. They know when you buy a TV, and if you register to get the digital television broadcasting, then they automatically just tack on the charge for this channel, and some people don't even watch it. Moss's father, Audrey and Kate's grandfather, he watches it all the time because they have lots of programming that he enjoys. And so, but he still doesn't even really have an antenna out. And they came once, they come knocking to your door. They come and they harass people, and they try to say, you have a TV in there, you owe us money. And, he has actually, he made them come in and prove to them that, no matter where you were in the house, you couldn't get good reception, so we don't have to pay for it. And he signed that paper, but that's going to be over soon. They're going to be coming after us again, because now they're saying because of the internet, you can get the same channels, the national broadcasting channels, through the internet, through things like the equivalents of Hulu and Netflix and stuff. So anyone who has internet now has to pay for the channel. And so it's sort of like this crazy thing where they're making you forced to buy this channel even though you don't watch, or for a lot of people who do watch, they should just shut up and pay, but they don't. And because they make it so tricky, they should just say, oh, every citizen should just have to pay as part of being a citizen to pay to have this channel, and then it wouldn't be a big deal. But they even go after people who have cell phones, because you could sometimes get that one television channel. If you can access TV with any device, then you have to pay for it. And so, you know, a lot of people in the city, they don't even answer their door anymore because they know it might be them. You know, they just don't even answer the phone either because they know it might be them. It's really got this really bad rap, and a lot of people are mad about it, but it's Japan, so even though everyone's really mad about it, nothing ever changes. So everyone just is like, what do you do? So basically that's the long and short of the fact that we don't have a television antenna because we don't want to deal with them. And we don't watch TV. We watch, you know, we watch a lot of Netflix. We watch a lot of, well, right now it's Netflix. Mostly before we watched Hulu a lot, and then we switched over to Netflix. And, you know, we are in Amazon Prime, so we watch some of those things too. But, you know, we watch those kinds of shows. And usually, too, we might buy shows that we get, you know, that we like, that we buy to watch too. But that's usually the general flow of things. You know, I think for a while, Hero Academy was on like Hulu, and so we were using that. And you know, when there's something we know that we're interested in, we'll get it. But we don't have actual television. So you know, we do watch TV, obviously, like what you would consider, you know, watching a show or something. But you know, I think it's changed. Obviously, it's different now. So many people don't even use their regular television. Maybe they just strictly watch Netflix. That's a pretty common thing, you know. So when we look at our devices, because our iPads, which we all have our own, you know, that's the source of where we watch something like TV. And then we also use our iPads as the source of gaming for a lot of stuff too. You know, I personally play a lot of stuff on my iPad, and Kate, of course, plays Minecraft exclusively on her iPad. And so, you know, we're not so much console-based people. Audrey is more, you know, the portable PlayStation Vita kind of thing, and then her dad, mostly he plays a lot of PS4 games. So, you know, but we still all kind of play a little bit, you know, of those puzzle games and things like that are on the iPads. So our like daily usage is really high for that reason. And then you add on to that we use it for studying. I use it to read because I love to read books. I'm always reading something. So there's a lot of hours packed on to an iPad that we use. And that's because it is everything for us, you know. And I thought, you know, wouldn't it be crazy if we could just have a day where, not even the whole day, you know, just 8 hours where we could say, okay, during break, and instead of doing it like we're going on vacation, so of course you're not going to have access to the internet, you know, that's too easy. We're like, no, we're going to be stuck at home, and we're going to do 8 hours, and we're going to have no access to the internet, and we can't use computers, and we can't use game consoles, we cannot use iPads. All of it is off limits. And then we were just going to see how it went. And I think the only exception we made to that was that when Audrey was doing her drawing, she could use the camera to do the recording of that. And then we recorded the girls like 2-3 times, right in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. And so that was really the only time that we could use anything. And then, they did practice rocksmith. So they used the stuff for that time. So we did kind of, you know, maybe cheat a little bit in that sense. But everything else was completely, you know, Masa, you know, their dad turned off the internet in our house, and I took all the iPads and put them in another room and closed it, and it was not an easy room to get into, so you kind of like had to ask me for permission to get to what you needed in there. And then we just started the 8 hours, and, you know, for me personally, you know, I use my iPad a lot, but the time that I use is pretty set. And so throughout the day, because of the kind of work I do, I just don't really use it that much. You know, if I'm doing laundry, I don't need my iPad, and if I'm, you know, cooking lunch or dinner, I don't need it. I suppose if I was looking for a new recipe, I'd need it, so I thought of that and needed to kind of prep and make sure I knew what I was going to be doing, because I wouldn't have access to that for those reasons. I use it, of course, too, if I find a recipe that happens to be in the States, and then I need to convert the, you know, cups and stuff, all that, to measurements into the right thing. But, you know, I really didn't miss it that much. But the girls definitely missed it, because they're their work time is, they use it a lot, but then their downtime is almost exclusively using the iPads. And we have like a system, I've kind of talked to you guys about it before, where they work for a certain amount of time, maybe complete one big project, work for like an hour, at most an hour maybe, and then they take a 15-minute break, and during that time, that's when they can, you know, do anything that they like to do. But they have to set a timer, and then they can watch. Now, they didn't have the timers because they didn't have their iPads, so we got out the old school hourglass. I had one, and it just happened to be 15 minutes, so we used that. And you know, Kate would normally use her free time then to play Minecraft or to make Minecraft skins or to watch YouTube. But all those things were off limits. Audrey uses her iPad to read online manga. She uses it to watch her favorite YouTubers. She uses it to read. She uses it to draw. She uses it, and I use it to sit around and waste hours looking at pictures of cute cats on Pinterest. You know, all the things we do to waste time, but they didn't have that. And so every time that they were done with something and they wanted to be rewarded with downtime, it was like, what are they going to do? They were really worried about it in the beginning. But then when it actually started, it was really not that hard. I was really surprised because Kate turned to Audrey and she's like, do you want to play with toys with me? And Audrey's like, yeah. And I thought, wow, what a great sister, because I don't know many 15-year-old sisters who'd be like, yeah, I'll play toys with you. Because, you know, I would have been like, no way to my brother. I don't play toys with you, weirdo, get out of here. But so they were off in the room playing with the toys, and it was great to see them get to do that again, you know, and they seemed, you know, laughing and having such a good time. And later on, then they spent more time just drawing with real things instead of, you know, using technology to draw. And, you know, all the day went really fast, actually, between, you know, taking breaks. They did that. We took a break where we all played together, too, and played some Pictionary and things like that. And, you know, they just seemed, everybody, you know, you heard a lot of more noise and laughter and talking and stuff. And there's certainly nothing wrong with, you know, downtime and doing your own thing and enjoying your own stuff. But I think definitely, you know, sometimes if you always have it around you, it just sort of sucks you in and steals all your time. It's not like we weren't doing things we enjoyed before with our technology, but it certainly was a lot more fun to not have it for a little bit. Masa was freaking out because he, you know, I mean, first of all his work and everything that he does is related to the internet and computers. And so having basically a day where he doesn't have to work, 8 hours where he doesn't have to work, he was kind of just freaking out in general because he's like, well, I have to edit a video, I have to put that video up, and it's like, you know, I have to check Twitter, you know, no, you don't have to do any of that. This is the downtime, we're not doing that right now. And like, you know, you could kind of see him kind of wondering what he is going to do. But then he found a lot of things to find interest in that he could do. But it did take him a second. And I think the thinking about not having the tech was the scariest for everybody. Like literally when I first brought it up, it like we talked about it for an hour about what does that mean? Like what? I can't use that and I can't do that and everybody was just really freaking out at the idea of it. But then when you really do it, it's not that bad. And I know, especially, you know, I don't communicate that much with people where I'm constantly getting tweets or anything. You know, sometimes you guys might leave comments and stuff on Facebook and I see that, but I don't even have notifications put on my phone, so, as you guys know, because I never write back to you there. But Audrey constantly talks to her friends online and Twitter. And Instagram. And so, you know, she's always getting alerts on her phone, on her iPad. And so not seeing that was a great relief of not being constantly distracted by that. And then Moss always is checking on his computer all the time. And just not checking was a good thing too, you know, to feel that release of not being always kind of on call for stuff. But I think overall we really enjoyed it. We had a good time. It was fun. When the time came up and we were like, okay, here, we turned the internet back on, you guys can use it. Everybody was kind of excited. We're like, yeah, I want to look at that video. I wonder if that person posted something new. I wonder if they wrote to me. But it was also, Audrey kind of said once, she's like, oh, it's kind of sad. And I was like, oh, that's nuts. You know, I mean, it's good to have these things, and tech is so great in so many ways. And all the things that we can do because they exist is so great. But it definitely realized how it's also good to kind of just put it all aside and get away from it if you can. So I would recommend anybody to do this if they can, even the smallest increments, you know, just anything to just give yourself a chance to, you know, I think a lot of people have a hard time just saying, I'm not working, even though they work 9 to 5, you don't have to answer other people's emails then that night at 3 in the morning, you can just say no. And I wish we could get away from that culture where people feel like you have to reply because that's what the internet's for. They auto responses, it shouldn't be that way. So it would be nice if we can all kind of stop that stress level of that. And I think we definitely are going to keep doing this every Sunday and see if that could be like our day that's sort of free from technology a little bit, and kind of force us to, we do a lot of things together. We live together, we work from home. So our families in general spend a lot more time together than most other families would ever spend time together. We are all home together. No one comes home late from work. We're all here. There's nothing, in that way. But even then we could do more things without it. So I think, if you guys have a chance, I would recommend it. And I think I'm definitely, Masa even said that he's going to try to push himself to remember to kind of turn off the net when he's working, like on video editing and stuff, because it's so easy to get distracted and to look at the other things online and stuff. And I think, it's definitely a good thing to take a break from some things. So if you guys get a chance, try it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer. So I apologize for the talk about NHK. I kind of realized I probably wanted to tell you guys a little about that. I think I've done it a little bit before, a long time ago as a video, but yeah, that's some crazy stuff. So if you guys have any questions about anything, please let me know, and I'll have some more fun things to talk to you guys in the days to come. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.